Just love that from Add-2. Um, hey, Ad, how you doing?
What's up? What's up? What's up, man? How you doing, Martin?
Very good. It's nice to see you. I'm going to hold up your album for a little bit longer. I just want to let everybody know we have a pile of vinyl. I accidentally ordered 2 of these,
Oh, nice.
which I think everybody should do. Accidentally go and order 2 copies of Jim Crow the musical. I'm putting this together with Trey from Quiet Pterodactyl. Put this album together. Twilight. You know Twilight, don't you?
Twilight Zone. That was one of my mentors. Yeah.
Okay, he was down here for ages. He was down here for 6 months. I don't know what he was doing. But that double vinyl. Today is the anniversary of a ministry album called In Case You Didn't Feel Like Showing Up. Here's the double live album from that tour. Here's double live, my band, Pigface, Glow in the Dark, Handscreen. So there's a big pile of vinyl that we're in the process of putting up for people to bid on. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that money, but we're going to do something with that money, something constructive and interesting. Seems like there's a lot of things to help with right now.
Yeah, definitely is. Definitely is. It feels like there's so many different things going on in the world. So any which way we can do to help is always helpful.
It seems like it's a struggle to just stay on top of and stay positive. I don't think staying on top seems like quite an ambitious thing, but just to stay in it feels like it's tough right now.
I agree. It feels like there's something new every day. You know, like if you refresh the news, there's always something going on. And so it's like a million fires that we need to put out. And so, but hopefully we can at least just get a gauge on things. You know, may not be able to solve everything at the same time, but just enough to keep it from going under.
Well, and I've been trying, I've been doing one of my talks, I'll mention, everything's overwhelming, but I screen printed these coffee bags, here in my place. And it was just helpful for me to be busy one afternoon, and that helped Dark Matter. And I think it's helped some people who feel completely overwhelmed. Like, look, I printed some bags and it helped. And holding up your album, Ad, made me think maybe it's time for us to do some more Jim Crow t-shirts.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, the anniversary of the album is like in a week or so. So it's like on the 26th, which is, it just so happens to be Thanksgiving itself. So, man, yeah, it's right on time.
Okay, we got you.
Perfect.
So what do you want to talk about today? We talked about mentoring. I know that. Oh, I don't think I properly introduced you. Add-2, really an artist in his own right. I've got to say, Jim Crow, the musical, is it's something I go back to. And just hearing that track. What was the track that was just played?
Oh, The Secret Life of Blacks.
Secret Life of Blacks. Boom, boom, boom. And then just recently in the last week, you had a couple of videos that got shared fucking everywhere. It was like, holy, whoa, that was so great to see.
Yeah.
Who was sharing those videos?
Let's see if I can name them all. It's like naming all the like the Sleepy Dwarves or something like that. But it was like Chris Rock, Amy Schumer, Man, let's see. Naomi Campbell, Chelsea Handler. My goodness, it's like it feels like there's so many other people who I'm forgetting too.
Yeah.
Olivia Wilde, you know what I mean? Like, and there was somebody else who I was like, what? Oh, Ed Helms from The Office. It was like a bunch of people who I kept thinking to myself, like, how would you even know about this? So,
Wow.
yeah,
It was an example of when something just went, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So in addition, as I said, to being an artist in your own right for quite some time, um, I know when we talked months ago, um, I thought the content of Jim Crow was timely, and then I look back at a few things. I'm like, fuck, you've been singing about this stuff for a long time now.
man,
Yeah. Um,
man,
but
very long time.
um, so you also you run a place called the Haven, which is literally a haven, 47th and King Drive.
Yeah, 46. So
46th
46,
and King.
22. Yeah.
Um, it's a studio that's open to anyone pretty much to come in and hang, where you can be a mentor to them. And for any Pigface fans who are listening, um, I called Ad, I don't know, maybe right about this time last year, and I said,
Yeah.
hey, send some of your artists over to Thalia Hall on the last day of November. And oh my goodness, you sent Cam, Jay Lamar, Just Chris, and Day, and I'd forgotten. So in the last week of the tour, the band sat me down and they said, look, can we have no more surprises? Let's just finish the tour. And I'm like, yes, okay. And I knew you were sending these artists over, and it just transformed the show. There was already 30 people on stage, but they all came out,
Yeah.
just passed the mic through one of our songs, and honestly, it's one of my favorite moments on stage ever.
Yeah. Wow.
You know,
Wow.
and
That's
so thank you for mentoring those individuals. And Greta, one of our bass players, because there were three that night.
nice.
Greta is on the line from Berlin, and she said it was outstanding. I mean,
Wow. Yo, thank you. Wow, that was surreal. Like I remember them telling us just what type of experience that they had, and it was so mind blowing for them. And that's one thing that I live for, is to give them like experiences when they could look out into, I'm saying, on the stage and look out into the crowd and just be like, wow, this is what it feels like to, to be to make it. This is what it feels like to be on stage, to get love, to people to appreciate what you do. Like, those things are the things that keep you going as an artist to achieve what these next levels are. It's like, how do you know about what the next level is until you see it? So, that was such a great experience for them to have, and also to get outside of the world that they know, something outside of just the regular hip hop shows that they see.
Well, and similarly for us, it was spectacular. 5 drum kits, 3 bass players. I mean, I guess next time we need a horn section. And I should tell you, I'm looking into, things are very strange at the moment. As you know, we might have a drive-in location for around Thanksgiving weekend, where we'll screen the video from that show.
Nice.
We can all go see it safely. So I'll keep you posted on that.
Absolutely. Appreciate that, man. Definitely.
So what did you want to talk about with us today?
So today, man, I really, really, really wanted to talk about something, of course, like as Martin mentioned before. I wanted to talk about the importance of mentorship in the music industry. And it's something that has definitely changed my life completely. I would not be the same artist I would be had I not had proper mentors to guide me in certain spaces. I never had like a full-on management. So this kind of what makes like my journey a little bit unique, but I kind of had it through these surrogate mentors, and they were the ones to help give me the guidance that I needed, or to help kind of put me on game, as we always say. And so I wanted to highlight that, like that aspect of what we don't often see in music, and especially in hip hop. Hip hop is like, we have this space where people like to use this phrase, self-made. You know what I'm saying? I'm a self-made man. You know, I got myself here. You know, like nobody helped me to get here. When in reality, there's a lot of people who helped you get to where you need to get to. And you know, I think being one of those people who I can kind of be considered a one-man show, like people like, all right, you can sit Ad anywhere and he'll be fine. It's really the opposite. There's like people whose brain that I pick. There's my older, like my elders who I call, who I'm like, hey, I've never read through a contract like this before, or how do you negotiate something like this? And then they're able to sway me into the spaces where I need to. And even if I don't necessarily take the advice, the fact that they give it is important. So, but I guess I wanted to start with some stories. I guess I wanted to show some videos of the mentees who I have, and show why these moments are meaningful, and just how powerful just being present beyond just what we do for ourselves, like what we do for the artistic community, how that changes what the landscape is completely. So one of the places I would start is I would maybe tell about this story about when I used to go to this space on what was it? It was on 63rd in Aberdeen, and I met this guy named Cassius D. And Cassius D was a part of the Zulu Nation, and they were like some of the group of people who helped to kind of establish what the rules of hip hop were. You know, the culture of hip hop, like in New York, that's what they did. And this guy would sit me down every Saturday. I had to be like 17, 18 years old, 16 or something like that. And I was coming to the shop every Saturday, and he'd make me clean up the space. And then he would start showing us these poster boards. And the poster boards would just be like of anything. Like at first it'd be like hip hop history. He was like, you need to know this. Little brother, you need to know this. If you don't know this, then you can't be a part of this. And I was like, damn, okay. Then he started like, on other days, he would show us like pictures of, it's crazy. Oh, this is random. He showed us pictures of like graphic pictures of STDs. Like he was like, yo, look at this. This is what happens if you're not careful. And I was like, I ain't signed up for all this. So, you know, he was very like blunt about the information that he gave us. And to be 16, 17 years old, I was kind of used to people sugarcoating certain things. But because he was so honest about it, it helped me to learn what I needed to do if I wanted to participate in this genre. He would make me freestyle, and then he'd be like, all right, now not only freestyle, I need you to freestyle without cursing. And I'm like, I can't do that. These are my crutch words, you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta end it with like I gotta say that. And then he would turn around and be like, no, you have a vocabulary, use it. And it was these challenges he would present me. And I would just be like, okay, my brain has to work a different way. But there was also a sense of like gratitude I would have when the lessons came out, when I would be able to show it back to him like, hey, this is what I learned from you. You know, this is the stage presence that I have that I've been practicing. You've seen it work. And I wanted to go back and report it to him and be like, look, the things you're teaching me are working. And so it's those moments, you know, like those moments that I think validate what you're doing, and you need people to be present in those moments in order for you to work, you know? So, but that was one of the key ones that started it out. That was the brother Cassius. So.
And do you think is it because people are so anxious to get themselves on that it feels like if you're helping people, you're eroding your own chances somehow? I mean, I know that that's not how it works, but you know, I think
Yeah,
maybe some people think that.
I can see that because you know it's very much so like a race sometimes. Like people feel like they're racing when in reality it's like you're running your own marathon. You know, it's like your journey is your journey. You're not racing against anybody else. But at times it can feel that way because you be like, man, I'm starting at the same spot as this other person. This is my friend or my peer, my colleague, and I look over to the left and they just got signed or they're doing a tour or they're just selling out of this, or they do a video and it's doing these type of numbers. And it's hard not to compare. It's hard not to sit back and say like, well, mine's only did this, or I don't have that. And my checklist doesn't look like yours. When in reality, you know, you can be, you might not be ahead at the beginning, but towards the tail end of your career, it could look better than anybody else's. It could be a lot more stable. But I do think that sometimes people feel like if I take time out of moving this for lack of better words this boulder, if I'm gonna stop moving this boulder of mine to help you push yours, that mine's is gonna fall. And when in reality, sometimes it's like you helping push somebody else's boulder might actually push you up a little bit further. Like I think all the good things for me happened when I was helping other people out. And it came back full circle and other people remembered that. So it's just very much so an important moment. And with that being said, I would like to share one if I can.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so this video, I'll explain it to you guys like a little bit afterwards about the context. Well, I'll give you some context right now. I had a mentee, her name is Keita. And Keita wasn't necessarily always the best like rapper or artist. Like she just kind of liked to be around because it was like wanted to make music, right? And just like the energy that was in the room.
Right.
And one day, unfortunately, her brother was killed, and she was going through it. And the first place that she called was us, and she said, "I don't have anywhere to go right now, and I'm lost. I just need somebody to talk to." And it just so happened to be a day that we were off, like we weren't supposed to even be open. And then I told her, I was like, "Well, I'm going to this event. You can come with me." And she went with me. And you know, she was supposed to be just there to observe and just to kind of get her mind off things. And somebody thought she was the help. They were like, "Oh, hey, move these boxes." And she started moving the boxes. She didn't even think twice about it. Then they were like, "Hey, can you go do this?" And she went to go do that too. Then they were like, "Oh yeah, and here's a sign. Go stand outside and advertise for us to get more people to come in." And I'm going up to her like, "What are you doing? Like, you don't have to do none of that." And she was just like, "Nah, it's cool." She's like, "It's all right. You know, it's helping me get my mind off things." And later on, they ended up doing this giveaway for somebody to get Dwayne Wade's like autographed shoes. And she entered to be in that contest and left and didn't even hear the results of it. So this is what happened the day after. So let me share my screen real quick and make sure I'm sound optimizing it. All right, hold on, let me go back to it. And one, you know, yesterday when you left out the joint, right?
Who won the shoes? Who won the shoes? Who won the shoes?
You'd be crazy surprised, right? So they had 7 people that they called, right? They called 7 other numbers. Nobody was there. And guess who's on the 8th?
Who? Me?
Yeah.
What? Oh, you serious? Oh, I'm serious? You serious?
I'm dead.
You serious?
Open the bag.
Oh my God!
Yo, what? Yo, what? Yo, what? You brought it up. You brought it to fruition. That's all you. Told you. Told you. They called 7 numbers, G. 7 numbers.
And it just so happened that the one that they called right after that was yours.
Oh my God, bro. Hey, the way you went.
So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. That was one of those moments for me that you start to realize what being present does for certain people. Just like you may not necessarily know, or they don't necessarily have to be perfect. They don't have to have it all there. They don't have to be in that space where you want them to be. Um, but it's getting there. It's the journey of walking with them in that space, not correcting them and saying like, yo, you need to do this now. You need to do this now. You need to be this now. Like sometimes you just have to be present and to be able to walk with someone in that journey. So, um, she never in a million years would have thought something like that. Like she always would tell me like stuff like this doesn't happen to people like me. And it's like that's the importance of being present in somebody's life is to say like, yes, it should happen to you. You do deserve good things. You know what I'm saying? Like you should be in that space of being celebrated, or your life is valuable, your art is valuable. And if you can't even see 10 steps ahead of you, I'm seeing 20 and I see where you're going to be. So it has to happen, like just that little bit of confidence, that little bit of space where you could nudge somebody and give them the belief in themselves that may not be present. So that's one of the crux of what I believe in, like giving people that confidence, being that person in that space with them to encourage them to maybe give them the tools that they may not have had to work with, and be like, okay, well, let's see what happens when you do this, or what happens when we put you into this situation. So that's one of those moments, man. And I've watched Keita in particularly, like in particular, she's been growing phenomenally, and not even more so as an artist, but as a person. Like I've watched her move herself out of the hood. Like just literally, we used to say it all the time. Like I guarantee you, when you leave out of this situation, you're gonna be much happier, much happier. And then she just turned around and left the state after I had paid for the bus ticket. I was like, yo, if you go, just go, and don't look back. You'll be just fine. And she got on that bus, left, got her own apartment, and has been living with her girlfriend ever since. And it's just been beautiful to watch her be happy, So um, that's what that is. Where I just love moments like that.
For all of the good moments like that,
Mm-hmm.
how do you deal with when it's not good? I remember, I think the first time, I don't remember which one of my students from SAE introduced us, and I think you sent you came to Reggie's. They said, I'm going to bring some kids with me. I'm like, well, okay, and they just started passing the mic, and a month or so later, maybe I came across some photographs and shared them with you.
Yeah.
I remember you emailed me back. You said, oh, this is bittersweet because one of the kids in this photograph isn't with us anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
On earth do you navigate all of that?
That part is difficult, because I've had 3 that I've lost in total, but 2 in the program that since we started, and both of those were rough. Like Tato, who's the one who was in the picture. That was rough because we used to have conversations about life, right before I would drop him off in front of this spot on like 67th and Halsted. And I used to be like, you can't do this forever. You know what I'm saying? It's like this life, this can't be it. And he knew in his heart that it would be tough. You know what I'm saying? And I think he was having one foot in, one foot out. And the one thing I will say is that it's hard to give people, like, you have to make sure that their reality matches the one that you want to give to them. You know, like, I can't tell them change your life completely if I'm not able to provide a way to maintain that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easier to fall back into those habits. But it's really rough because when he passed away, I remember he made a phone call and he was on his way to the studio. And then one of our mentees said, hey, we get ready to close up. It's all right. You know, we'll just meet you tomorrow. And instead of coming to the studio, he went somewhere else. And, you know, that's where it happened. Another one, which is a moment that I would never wish on anybody, man. It was just like having to see my mentee being cremated, like, you know, being at that space. And then they were just like, you know, who wants to stay in the room while, you know what I'm saying, while this happens. And it's a small select group of people who our mom let be there. And I was just like, I couldn't sit there and be in the room for something like that. And to watch these people who I've known be full of life, to be joy, to be happiness, to be, you know, potential and just everything, to being nothing in that space. Like, I'm not used to that. I'm not used to seeing them like that. And so that became like, you have to, one, be present for other people. Like, as my mentees grieve, I have to be the one to take on a lot of that, talk with them about these things and let them process it and tell them that showing your emotions is healthy, talking about it is healthy. But I don't know if it hasn't really made me, like, I think I'm still learning how to cope with that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still learning how to deal with it. And there's good days, there's bad days, but, you know, it's one of the rougher parts that come with it. And I don't enjoy it at all. And it's crazy because I'm just, this week, you know, 2 days ago, one of my friends, he unfortunately committed suicide, and he's a mentor as well. And so it's just, you start to realize just like how much people need other people in our lives, you know. And so it's really, really tough, man, really, really tough. And so, yeah, I'm just figuring it out and processing it.
Yeah, I'm just, yeah, I've lost a couple of students, and it's very difficult.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing that I've been trying to really like put forth is like, once we're aware, like, the beauty of being aware of what people are going through, the empathy that comes with it, which is also tying into why we give so much of our time, is like, yo, we have to, once we're aware, like, check in on people, even the ones we assume that they got it all together, or people who are trying to come up to the spaces that we have. You know, like, there's so many people in this world who might be like, I just want to be where you are. Where you are is success to me. And just that little bit of help, that information just make a world of difference. Just being able to reach out to somebody, because this artistic journey is hell. Like, I've said this to my mentees all the time after having gone through it and have got signed, let go of everything, and went back to just what normal life was. And I loved it more. And I wish someone would have told me that this artistic journey will pull so much from you, and people don't understand, you know, the expectation or even the output that comes out. You know what I'm saying? Like what you get from it is very rarely matched to what the effort that you've been putting in. You know, like, financial stability doesn't exist. Just what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, mentally, what it takes from you, and then just ego and pride and what it looks like when you're not in the spotlight, and having to deal with, you know, like, just what you're doing it's a mind fuck, man. Like it's tough. So, and people don't talk about it. They just more so just be like, we show the good side. We see, you know, the shiny stuff. We see the happiness. We see the cars. We see the money. We see the attention. But nobody sees the lonely times. Nobody sees the despair. Nobody sees what it takes for you to get to those spaces, the sacrifice that it is every night. Like right now, I'm suffering from some sort of like my anxiety for my sleep. Like I can't sleep long. But that came from all those nights of like, yo, I'm up at the studio all times a day. There's so much stuff to do. And then now I'm like trying to tell the kids, it's okay to sleep. What's for you is for you. You know what I'm saying? Like you can relax. Like don't lose yourself trying to pursue something that may not look how you want it to look when you get there. So all the things that I think we need to start like really pinpointing to make better artists, to give them more like mental health resources, to give them a more like a well-rounded like idea of what this industry is before they get there, so that the person is maintained, that the vessel is maintained, and it's not just another artist for, you know, making money who's out here doing things. Like forget that. Let's make better people so that they're better when they get out of this journey, and they're socially intact, they're morally intact, they're spiritually intact, emotionally intact. Like that's important to me.
It seems like, you know, one of my stories from back in the day was U2. I saw U2 play to 17 people in London, and I left early because they sucked. But 5 years later, they weren't mentioning that. You know, Bono was just as if they were magically transported to playing stadiums. And I myself have hesitated, you know, to share stories, embarrassing stories of planting trees after huge success. Planting trees turns out for Bon Jovi's drummer, and I'm making $6 an hour. It's raining on my head. I've got fever. And then my big hit song comes on the radio. It's like, dear Lord, what are you doing? You know, but you share a story like that, and people are like, oh, okay. It's not magical for other people.
Yeah.
It just is, you know.
That's really a space. Oh, was about to say something? I'm sorry.
Well, there's a question. What's the question? I'm sorry. Molly says there's a question in the Q&A. Oh, how do you find ways to balance and refuel from all that output?
So as the past like maybe year and a half, I've been telling myself, you know, prioritize my happiness. That's been my phrase. Is prioritize your happiness. And so I had to go back and kind of look at what things made me happy, and not just the stuff that was giving me this gratification because it was work, you know, like stuff that was completely separated from work. So I used to love playing video games. I'm back playing video games now. You know, I just spent a little time unplugged from everything and played video games for a while. I also figured out the foods that I like, you know, and it's not just to be like, oh, well, you know, these are the crutch foods that I'm eating because I'm unhappy, but it's just like, I want to find the things that give me joy. And I need to do it for me, not wait for other people to do it for me. Because there were so many times I'll be like, they know what I'm going through. How come nobody's helping me? and instead, I was like, I have to really be my own best friend. I have to be able to make myself happy, so that way it's not predicated on someone else either doing or not, or showing up or being like, I just need to make sure that I still got a stake in it, you know? Do I play Animal Crossing? I don't play Animal Crossing. I play Super Smash Brothers a lot. Zelda, I'm a big Zelda fan. Oh my God, I get lost in Zelda. And you know, I just those are like my go-tos. It's Mario as well. I play that, and I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima. I've been like, it's stuff like that I had to tap back into, because it's just you'll get so caught up in work. And then the other thing about work, especially when you become like very dependable and you start knocking it out the park, the request for work doesn't stop. No one will stop you from working. They will work you and keep asking for favors, and they will figure it out. And you have to be the one to pull yourself over to the side and be like, yeah, nah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, in the panel before this ad, I was talking about being a drummer when I used to play with tape machines, and I'd record a drum track, and then at least while the tape was rewinding, you know, I had like 4 minutes in between till the next take, and you could just catch a breath. And now with digital, it would, you know, as soon as one take ends, you press 2 keys and it's the next take and the next take. And
Yep.
I think one day last week I had 3 events the same day, speaking events. And you know, when you go somewhere to speak, you've got the day, you have breakfast somewhere, you focus in. Now with Zoom, with all of these platforms, yeah, I've got a couple more weeks before my head explodes a little bit, but it's Thanksgiving. And we'll see what, yeah.
Yeah, no, you absolutely definitely got to take breaks, man. Like I'm trying to do that a little bit more because I've been Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting, and then in-person stuff.
You have a workshop after this, don't you?
Yeah, I have a workshop at 4, and I do a weekly rap workshop. Also on every other Saturday, I work for a commons organization, and I'm doing mentoring with them as well. So it's like I'm constantly doing something, and it's fulfilling because when I'm in the moment, second wind kicks in, right? It's like, oh, it's nothing. But before that and after it, man, you feel it. You definitely feel the difference, man. So take time for you, if nothing else.
To the rubber band on a wind-up plane,
Mm-hmm.
you know, sometimes the band just snaps. Do you have any more videos you wanted to?
Sure. Let me see which one I want to share. Okay, this one's pretty cool too. I like this one. So this is like what it looks like when you see somebody's mind open up when it becomes a reality. You know, like we have, like, especially going with these our musical aspirations, all these little trinkets, you know what I'm saying, like plaques and awards. We dream about it, but then when someone's able to see it physically in person and you see what it looks like. So here's a moment when my mentees were able to be in this space from one of my friends' spot. It's called 247HH. And he has nothing but plaques everywhere. And so this was them.
That's Ronnie, right?
Yep, run it down. Yeah, man. Shout out to him and the whole family over there, man. Like, this was a good moment for 2 of my mentees who had been dreaming about stuff like this. They talked to me one day. They was like, man, one day we're going to get a plaque. And I was like, have you ever seen one? And then they were like, no. And I was like, yo, all right, hop in the car. We're going here. So this is when they got a chance to see it. So let me see. Let me start this up. Here it goes.
Yo, it's Add-2, and of course, you know what I'm saying, with my Haven Studios mentees. We're here over here at 247HH headquarters. It's the back cave. Shh, don't tell nobody. Yeah. But I got Adam here. I got Nas, Tsunami here. Yeah. So, what's y'all impression?
First of all, before I say anything, behind me and to my left, these are platinum records, y'all, from like, first of all, I'm not even gonna tell you who they from. He has a whole camera. Like, if you wanna come to me, like, this is Funk Master Flex right here.
Funk Master Flex night.
Period. You don't have to say no more. Where's the crisscross joint you was talking about?
Oh man, this one of the best joints on here, you know. Feel me? Crisscross, you know, crisscross and make it, you know, wear clothes backwards, you know.
We got something for my boy Emilio. Shout out to Emilio. We got something for my boy Emilio down here.
Dr. Dre, you feel me?
Showing it,
NWA, you know.
Y'all, I literally walked over here and got chills. Like, I got chills, man. Like, I need one of these.
Like, he specifically hid this corner from us.
You know what I'm saying?
I was looking around. I didn't even think about here. Like, I was just like this. I brushed past it.
Oh, hey, y'all didn't even know this existed. Come here for a second. All right. Not this. That right there. That right there. You did not know that existed. I can guarantee you didn't. That is a Friday for the soundtrack. For the soundtrack of Friday. It's not where it was.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That was a very special moment for them, and they still talk to me about that to this day. Like they'll call me up and be like, "Man, I remember remember when you took us over there to see them records?" Like, and they've been chasing that feeling. So
Wow.
It's beautiful.
So somebody asked, how do you handle it when a mentee fails at something they really thought they'd succeed in?
Well, I kind of like downplay it. Like I tell them like, okay, well, good. I'm glad this happened. And they'll be like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you did. I'm glad it didn't work out. They'd be like, okay, wait, why? And I'm like, because one, you learn so much from failure, quote unquote, right? And you really it's only over when you quit. Really, when you fail, you're learning how to make it work. Like you'll be like, all right, I made a misstep here, a miscalculation here. And next time, if I do it, I'm going to ensure that this doesn't happen by these ways. And so I downplay the whole moment. I'm like, okay, good. Well, you're still here, right? You're alive, right? Ain't nothing broken. You all right? And they'd be like, yeah, I'm good. It's like, well, that means we got more work to do. And so, but I don't want to make that moment bigger than what it is, because it's not, like it's minor. And if you're on this journey, you are going to fail. Like something is going to not go the way you plan it to. So I hope that they learn it early. I'm like, please learn it now, so that way we can rip the Band-Aid off. And then, I want them to have that moment and them to realize just what this journey is.
When the lockdown hit, we were getting ready for our second MmX all day on the campus at Millikan. And I'm like, well, we're fucked. This is fucked. But what I told the students was, this is fantastic. What an opportunity. Well, no other students will have the opportunity to triumph in the face of adversity.
Yes.
I know some students are listening to this, so now they know.
and that is it brings me to maybe this one last one, and if I could play one more.
Yeah.
It's piggybacking off of what you said, where it was like one thing that could seem like a misstep or something that could be an obstacle could turn into an opportunity. And so same way like you said, where we was like, all right, well, now the world shut down, what's going to happen now? And then I was like, oh, this is dope, because now we could really bring y'all's heroes right in front of you guys. And they were like, what are you talking about? And so we would have these Zoom sessions, and one of my I don't want to say favorite, but I will say favorite, one of my favorite mentees, Day, she's amazing. She's an amazing artist, just superb in every way. And her favorite rapper was Bahamadia. And so I was able to get Bahamadia on the call with her, and I was like, specifically said, all right, Day, I want you to interview her. And she was like, yo, I don't think I'm ready. and so this is the moment of when they sat back and, she got a chance to meet her hero. So let me see, we'll start this one up. Let me go to, oh Lord. Let me go back to this part. And there you go.
Hello, Queen Bahamadia. Okay, I just want to say I'm a huge fan. I'm like, let me not get emotional. Oh. It's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm just really happy because you have really inspired my work. And I'm just really happy that you're here. I don't cry for people, but I'm just really happy that you're here.
Liberated day. It's okay to be liberated and free, you know.
Man, let me tell you, cause
I'm humble because it's, you know, sometimes people think when you have people have a perception of a, you know, an artist being established, you know, somebody like me that's been in the industry for a long time, transitioning from like a corporate cog to a true DIY artist and from industrial and all of that, right? I still am at a place where in my mind it feels like a collective, like a cooperative economic type of thing going on with my supporters and myself. So I'm always blown away when people get excited about interacting with, like, I'm telling you, I've been in the dream state since I became professional. So I'm laughing because I got nervous energy, like I don't even know how to respond except to say I appreciate you, and I'm glad that you got inspired to be more of yourself through the work that I've been doing.
Yeah, man.
So Day was one of your mentees who came up and absolutely killed it. And I kind of snuck them on stage. We have these screens in front of everything. So I grabbed Orville, who runs samples. I'm like, so they could hear a couple of the loops, so they didn't just come out cold, you know. And oh my goodness, she just killed it. She killed it. And you know, when I do my my Monday night classes online or any of these events, we're always playing Day. We're always playing Day before we jump into class.
Yeah, her music is amazing. She's amazing. It's good to see them come into their own, you know, like who they are and what they do. Like it's such an inspiring thing. Like, and it's a mutual thing, you know, where it's like they think that they're receiving a lot of this information from us, or they're receiving this inspiration from us, when in reality, we're inspired by them. You know, Bahamadia hit us up not too long ago, was like, yo, that was one of the best feelings that I had. When can we do this again? Like, and this was months, we did this like when quarantine first kind of started, and for her to come back and reach around and reach back out and say, hey, look, that day was one of the best days I've had. It means a lot. So, you know.
I invited, I did send Day an invite for today, but I think her grandfather just passed. But when all the trouble, well, it's every weekend, but when all the troubles were happening, I go on Day's Instagram account. She's Radical Night on Instagram, and she was just like, she wasn't promoting her music. She's like, we've got a car full of diapers. Who needs, you know, we got this, we got that. Just help out. It's just,
See, like, and that's that spirit that I love about them, is like, you know, we always would just talk about it. We say we can't wait for other people to change the world around us. We have to be it. And the fact that they're just fully taking it, like taking action, like, well, let's do this now. You know, like we all got up. They hit me up and said, hey, we're about to all get up and, you know, go clean up around the city when the uprising was happening at that time. And I was just like, man, I was outside with my stuff, but I'm glad y'all are doing the same thing. So let's link up and clean up together. So yeah, they're amazing. They are beautiful, and I'm just so impressed with everything.
And it's a testament to the work that you're doing, you know, and you're an inspiration to, you know, to me especially, to see what you're doing. I really kind of liked seeing the footage of down at the Haven, because it's been a while since I was down there. We're talking about doing we got to do a screen printing workshop down there. And so are you working on any new music now? Are you working on anything?
I definitely am. I feel like I'm always recording something, but I don't know if I want to do an album just yet, but I'm definitely thinking about just releasing some more music. I'm always working, always doing something, but when I get the inspiration to work on something else, like another album, I'm waiting for the real inspiration to hit. But until then, I could shoot some jump shots around, you know, practice in the gym a little bit.
Without sounding like an old school record guy, I think there's still that the Jim Crow the musical still has some legs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People are still I'm still understanding how much I like it.
Yeah, man. It's definitely like, I've always felt like if nothing else, an album has a year. It should at least have a year. Yeah. And so, but I feel like I'm good. Like I don't feel that there's no rush for me. Like I don't feel like, oh, I got to put out another record. Like this one's still doing what it needs to do, and just it's breathing life into what I'm doing all the time. So
we were talking with the Michael Anthony Alago on Thursday night, and he's later today, and they just, there's a documentary about him. He signed Metallica. He worked with Nina Simone. They had a 3-year run on Netflix and Amazon. They got the rights to the documentary back. His book's been out for a while, and there was people on this call on Thursday night going, "What is this?" They didn't even know. Just as you would think, well, it's kind of done. It's had 3 years. No, it's still there's still some life in all of this.
Yeah, man. Like that's the one thing I've learned, man. Good music does not have an expiration date. You know, like it would, no matter if it's 10 years down the road, there's certain records I could play right now and I will never get tired of. So people discover music all the time, and all we have to do is just keep letting it breathe, keep letting it move around. You never know, and especially in this day and age where everything has a new life anyway. It might turn around and get popular on TikTok, might get popular on Instagram for a completely different reason than what you set it out to be. So you never know. Might be a challenge out of nowhere.
Yeah. So before I let you go, you know, you mentioned 24/7 HH. Ron Deb came down to the campus with Twilight Tone. That was a great event for the students. Of course, we got to do more of these sessions, but I would love to invite you to come down to the campus. And you know, we're working out the details of a scholarship that feels like a great next step for all of this.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to working with you on that.
And likewise. I appreciate you always, man, just for everything that you've done. And man, this is beautiful. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Keep feeding into the artistic community. And man, whichever way we could be of service, let me know.
And shirts for next week. Are we doing the black ink on the white shirts like the album cover, or the white ink on the black shirts?
That would be dope. Yeah, the ones just like the album cover, because it feels like every time I would wear it, everybody's like, wait, those exist. It's like, so yeah, like they love it. So I would be, I think that would probably be the best one.
But just so people know, like, we're all just fragile people, right? I'm sitting here thinking, oh, I guess Ad doesn't want any more of those shirts, right?
What?
Right, I'm just sitting here like, you know, I'll make you some shirts.
Dude, I thought it was just like, hey, here's a one-time gift, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know that. What?
So Molly put a link if anybody wants to donate to the Haven, and you'll have some shirts next week. People can buy a shirt and do that too.
Thank you. That is such an honor, and thank you guys so much for just y'all presence, all the comments and stuff. I truly do appreciate you guys for just listening and watching and being receptive. So thank y'all.
Thanks, Ed. It's nice to see you, mate.
Yep. Likewise. Y'all take care.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you too. Peace.
And everybody, please stick around. Oh, that's what a great shot. That's the promontory. And what a awesome venue that is as well. Good deal. There's a musical interlude coming up with Galen Lee, who'll be joining us in a little while. Our next panel is DIY HR. What is it called when it's just a bunch of letters? Yeah, no, but that's not, no. Acronym will be Gathwidis, great things happen when you do stuff. Oh, it's 2 acronyms, DIY and H, okay. It's 2 acronyms put together. Everyone go get a drink. I'm going to get some coffee. Here's Galen Lee, and coming up is DIY HR. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for coming. This has been really great so far. We'll see you in a moment.